Hello and welcome to yet again another guide. This time is about the second version of solution, also known as Mage solution or the SSR solution, however you know her. It is this version right here. Is this one. We're gonna take a look at everything about her, about the stars upgrades, the skill, the accessories, the recommended relics for both the game and the ones that I recommend, a little bit of awakening levels, and the variety of arc lights that you can put on solution, as well as the enchantments and the attributes that you should prioritize in the relics for this character. First off, taking a look at the basic attributes, we see that this character is all about the offensive, all about doing damage. As we can see, she only has C on physical defense, very, very low, the lowest rank possible. So she is very, very fragile against things like a Seshi or a Momon, for example, or a Medalvedo. She also has B on magical defense and B on HP, very mediocre. So you have to constantly be protecting her, or that's what it looks like. But at least she has double S, one on speed and one on attack. That means that she's gonna move fast, she's gonna constantly be playing, and she's gonna be dealing a ton of damage. Now, the accessories are gonna give us a hint at what is the best to upgrade on her. And as we can see, the tier number 3 is gonna give us 5% damage boost, tier 6 is giving 10% more HP or health, and tier 9 is giving a plus 10% attack. So again, mostly the offensive on this character. As we see, the game tells us that solution is based on area of effect, debuffs, and reducing the turn meter of the enemies, obviously. So I'm gonna be taking or going first for the basic stuff. As you can see, she's only level, well, only 3 stars. I could get her to the 4 star if I do her 3 bond levels. I just haven't done that because I'm using the materials for other characters and so. But yeah, it is very, very easy to send a character to obtain a character to 4 stars. Uh, you only send her a few days to the dispatch until you get the first fragment of the star. Then you obtain 10 extra, either by shard packs or by the dispatch, and then you do the bond levels, and she's 4 stars. So I would recommend you, if you're gonna upgrade her, yeah, get her to 4 stars. You can also get her for 4 stars, or even get her for the first time if you don't have her by the SSR select chest. She is the last option on that chest. And how do you get that chest? Well, in the feast pack, in the 10th anniversary celebration event. Here, you obtain this amount of party favors and you can claim that chest. Now, back to the character. Uh, Now we're going to be taking a look at what is solution skills. Then we're going to come back to the stars. And from there, we're going to go to the arc light. So now, the basic attack. Um, it only deals magical damage equal to a certain amount of attack that she has. At level 4, she has another like mini skill, like a perk there. Before hitting, there's a 100% basic chance to inflict adhesion on the target for 2 rounds. What is that debuff? Here it is. A debuff that reduces the speed by 7.5% and deals magical damage equal to 25% of solution attack before action. When the bearer is hit and their HP is below 50%, gains healing reduction slime for 2 rounds. But if their HP is above 50%, they're gonna gain vulnerable slime for 2 rounds. Healing reduction slime is a debuff that reduces the healing received by 15%. Can be stacked up 3 times. And vulnerable slime, a debuff that reduces magical defense by 10%. Basically, if the enemy has more than half their HP when solution attacks, she's gonna put a debuff that reduces magical defense, and you can stack it 3 times. If the enemy is low on HP, solution is gonna reduce the healing that they're gonna receive. So it's harder for their healers to fully heal their allies. And also puts the addition that basically reduces the speed and deals magical damage before the enemies take action. It works exactly like you will expect bleed or shock or a burn to work. They take damage as soon as they get a turn, and is based on the attack from the one that put the debuff, in this case solution. Now, the first skill, the sticky bomb, she does area of effect. That means that she hits everyone. Hitting grants 100% basic chance to inflict damage aggravation on all targets for 2 rounds. That means a debuff that increases damage taken by 30%. This is the same debuff that the negative cast or the negative aura that Ainz inflicts. This is the same debuff, and it's also the same debuff that you can put from the very start of the game using Mage Albedo's second skill. So yeah, this is the I think the only character aside of Albedo Nines that can put damage aggravation on multiple targets in you know a very easy way. Other will be I think Gagaran, but no one uses that character, honestly. Continuing with the skill, if any target is in the adhesion state, the one that we saw with the basic attack, also releases immersion of all enemies. Immersion is that deals magical damage equal to 50% of solution attack to all targets, and before hitting inflicts one stack of healing reduction slime and one stack of vulnerable slime on all targets. That is why those debuffs were stackable, because you can put both at the same time with this skill. And as we level up the skill, it does more and more damage. And for each target affected by adhesion, increases the skill damage in this action by 10% up to a 30%. That means that you need at least 3 enemies with the adhesion debuff, so solution can deal maximal damage with this skill. Next skill, I'm gonna talk about the passive skill. It's divided into parts. The first one is very easy. Increases her damage dealt by 15%. So she basically uh, gains extra damage. She becomes a heavy hitter. And the second part is the interesting part. When an ally target takes little damage, clears all effects from them, restores 100% of their HP, and grants them the bouncing guard for 2 rounds. Can be triggered only once per 5 rounds. What is the bouncing guard? Here it is. A mechanic effect basically above that immobilizes the target if not eliminated by the end of the duration. Revives with the current HP. I know it sounds a little bit weird. Basically, what happens is that uh, when solution or when an ally is about to die for little damage from the enemy, the entire character gets replaced by the same silhouette of the character, but all made out of slime, like we see on the icon here. Like that's how the characters start appearing when they get this buff, this bouncing guard state. So what happens is that your ally or even solution doesn't move. Uh, their turn meter do not increases or decreases by the attacks or even by the turns, but the character that should have died doesn't die. Instead, it gets all their HP back, but that character is not able to attack right away like other revives and so on this game. And what happens is that the enemy has to kill that same character for a second time as soon as possible, or solution is gonna revive the character. And there's other way to make the character revive. If you upgrade the passive skill to the max level, level 5, you gain another way of reviving it. If an enemy unit dies, the bouncing guard state will end prematurely and revive with current HP. That means that, let's say I have a Yuri on my team with this solution, my Yuri takes so much damage that she should die. Well, she's gonna become like a slime version of herself. She's not gonna be able to move or to attack. But if I kill some enemy before the 2 rounds end, or before uh even these 2 rounds, like If I kill the enemy at level 5 with this kill, if I kill it with my very next turn, or the character survive for the 2 rounds, the character that is covered in slime, it's gonna revive. So I could play that character again. It's like the character enters some kind of coma where it cannot do anything. But if I am able to keep it alive for 2 rounds or kill someone, I can revive it, full HP and everything. The only thing that doesn't recover exactly like you will expect is the cooldown of the skills. So yeah, we have another way to skip death here. And something that I have tested with a friend here is that uh, Anniversary Albedo, let me show you. She has a very very special effect on her ultimate here in the Supreme Tribute. Here in the last part, if this skill if this if this skill kills a target, it is treated as an execution, nullifying effects like indomitable or death immunity. So usually when you have this albedo and you fight someone like this Cocytus can have indomitable himself and grant indomitable to someone else. Let's say that they are enemies, the Cocytus is low in HP, I use Albedo Ultimate. What should happen with any other character is that the character with Indomitable is gonna survive for one entire round at 1 HP. No matter how many times I hit that enemy or how many times I trigger bleed or something like that, until that round passes, that enemy is gonna remain at 1 point of HP. Well, with this skill of Albedo, you can skip that. Instantly kills the enemy, executes them, doesn't let them live with 1 HP using that special buff. Well, I used to think that that also happened with Solution, that the one that should die and be covered on slime to revive will will get killed by that Albedo skill, right? It makes sense on my head. Well, turns up because I tested it on some combats that I uploaded to the channel that it doesn't work like that. The enemy receives the bouncing guard state, the slime, and they don't die. They remain alive. And I don't know if it's a bug or it's exactly like the developers intended. I don't know. For me, it's like a bug because this is another kind of dead immunity, so it should get countered by a Vela. So you have that extra information at your disposal. If you see an enemy anniversary albedo, you can play solution without fearing that her passive is gonna be negated by albedo ultimate. So you don't get countered by her. There's like extra info for you to know. Now, going with the ultimate, the turbulent shuriken, another area of effect debuff. Both skills hit everyone on the entire team, enemy team. So don't worry on really aiming them. Deals a lot of magical damage based on the attack of the character and the level of the skill. And before hitting, there is 100% basic chance to inflict adhesion on all targets for 2 rounds. Remember, adhesion reduces the speed of the enemy and makes them take 25% magical damage based on solution attack when the enemies act, and also puts them uh, healing reduction slime or vulnerable slime depending on the enemy's HP. Also, the upgrade at 4 stars is that before the skill is cast, Solution and her ally with the high store meter gain high tier attack boost for 2 rounds. High tier attack boost increases attack by 40%, by a lot. And if you have the character at 6 stars, allies attacking enemies with addition status deal additional magical damage equal to 25% solution attack. So you're increasing everyone's attack. Also, when the ultimate is level 5, the max level, for each target successfully inflicted with adhesion, gains a 5% turn meter after the skill. So you can, if you get lucky and put all 4 enemies on multiply with adhesion, she's gonna gain 20% turn meter boost. If you're playing something like Expedition or maybe even the campaign, the story mode, you can get more than 25, that 20%, you can get 25% or I think even 30%. of turn meter buffs because you can face 5 6 enemies at the same time. So yeah, she's good for both story mode against NPCs and all of that, and also against players on the multiplayer. Uh, she also has a special captain skill. Solution turn meter boost by 50% after the first action, and reduces all the enemies turn meter by 25% after solution first action. This means that, for example, if I have my team all around solution and the enemy has a Seshi and the enemy Seshi has more speed than my solution, she's gonna play first, obviously. What usually happens is the enemies use Ein's skill, the negative cast or the negative aura, I don't remember the name, to throw all my team back on the turn meter, so all the enemy team gets to play before my team. Well, she counters that. Even if the enemy is throw back my team, as long as my solution doesn't get stunned, so she can play after the first action, even if it's an enemy action and not yours, she's gonna get boosted a lot by the turn meter. So she will basically have a second turn guaranteed. And no matter if you play a basic attack, this first skill or the ultimate, doesn't matter. Uh, After she deals damage, she'll do something, she's gonna throw all the enemies turn meter back by 25%. And why did I say that is basically a guaranteed second turn? Because she has S on speed. So she's never gonna be that behind to the point that the 50% extra turn meter is not gonna get her to the second place. She's always gonna have the second turn if any enemy is faster than her. She kind of guarantees you that. Now, uh, Arclight, as you were able to see, I don't have solutions Arclight, but we can read it on the shop. And yeah, I will say try to get it. If you're thinking of upgrading her, using her to the max level as much as you can, and so get her Arclight. Is this one, the Inescapable Fate? Let's see all about this Arclight here. Increases her attack, her HP on flat amounts, and her attack again, but now on percentage. And the exclusive effect on solution increases the turn meter of allies that exit the bouncing guard state by 90%. And before taking action, for each enemy in the battle that is not with addition, the one that reduces their HP and makes them, reduces their speed and makes the enemies take damage when they take action. For each enemy that doesn't have that state, is going to increase the effect precision of solution effects by 7.5% for one round. And for each enemy that has the addition state, is going to increase the damage dealt by solution by 7.5% for one round. Those values can go up to 50% to 15%. So I would recommend you to get this Arclight. Yes, if you're planning on upgrading solution and so, get this Arclight to like 2 stars at least. That will be really really good because it's boosting her in all cases. In case that the enemies are not debuffed by solution, she gains a boost and effect precision. If the enemies already have the debuffs from solution, it's going to increase her damage. And also, when you revive someone with the passive of solution by either killing an enemy or keeping them alive for 2 rounds, their turn meter is going to increase so much that they will almost get a turn guaranteed as soon as they revive. So yeah, that is really really good. But if you're like me, that you don't have the arc light because you're gonna get solution from the chest that I show you, or you just got her in a random banner that is in her own banner, so you cannot get her arc light for now, at least not by the summons. You can use this one. Is an SR arc light, the purple ones. And honestly, as a temporal arc light, for the time that you get whatever you need the resources for the other arc light, the exclusive one for her, this is a really good arc light. Increases the attack of this character by 16% at max stars. I think it's like 8% at 1 star. But increases her attack by certain percentage when the battle starts and reduces the effect a little bit after each action until it drops to zero. So that means that at the very start of the game, you still have extra damage. You can do more damage. Whereas as the game goes on, the longer the battle goes, the damage she loses, the extra damage that she gains with the Arclight, she's gonna be losing it. If you don't like this option and you want like a legendary Arclight as an option, then it will be the Underworld Forces. This basically increases her attack and HP in flat amounts, but instead of the attack on percentage, increases her effect precision. I have it 4 stars, but I think 1 star increases it like 10%. The effect that it gives is that after dealing damage, there is certain percent of fixed chance. Remember, fixed chance doesn't depend on the effect precision or effect resistance, so that it doesn't get modified by those stats. In my case, it's 48%, but if you have it 1 star, I think it's just 40% or something like that. Well, back to the Arclight. After dealing damage, there is certain percent of fixed chance to inflict one of the three states. It could be either defense down, speed down, or attack down that the target does not already have for 2 rounds. It doesn't tell you here, but I think attack down and speed down reduces it by 20%, and defense down reduces it by, yeah, by 30%. There it is. Let me see if we can open the others. No, it doesn't tell me. Ah, there it is. Yeah, reduces speed by 20%, and the attack one is 20%. That is for sure because I use Tank a lot and she puts that. Yeah, a debuff that decreases attack by 20%. So when you attack, you could either reduce their speed by 20% or their attack by 20% or their defense by 30%. That is really good because obviously the less defense the enemy has, the easier it is for you to deal damage. And let's see how many or how much extra combat power she gains with the change of arc lights. 21k with this one, or if I go to Underworld Forces, she goes to 24k. It's not bad, honestly. And you gain effect precision, which is good. But let's see how much attack you lose. 5-7 with the other. No, this is not. It's this one. 5-7. 5-2. You even lose attack. So yeah, if you have the Underworld Forces, that is kind of like a bit better. In my case, of course, because of the 4 stars level 100 and so. But yeah, you can see that the Arclight is a very good extra firepower for solution, and the effect precision helps her to put the effects. So yeah. Now I'm gonna go to awakening levels. Awakening levels, you see that I have it. I have her just to level 15, halfway through the awakening levels. Normally, what I get all my characters at. I have very generic ones right here on her, but I have the right ones in case you're really wondering what to put there. Let me go to my albedo here. This is exactly, well, with the exception of this square, but this is exactly what I would recommend you to get. First gem shares their place with the 4-1, this one. So I will put the same if I had a second version or a second copy of this. The energy gem attack, the one that increases the attack by percentage. That is the best because consider what will be better. A gem that increases your attack by 12 on a character that has thousands of attack, or one that increases it by 4% in a character that has 5k attack. Of course, the one that increases it on a percentage. And as we were able to see earlier, she has S on attack, so she's very good if you increase that specific stat of her, like you're playing into her strong side. The second and the fifth one is the same slot, the round gems. I would recommend you this, the mighty gem effect precision. You could easily get to the 8% value, so don't worry there. Increases the effect precision of the character, really good. Like here, I have two of the same ones, both at the same level. That means 8% each one will be 16%. That is really good for a mage. In this case, a mage that is based on damaging the enemy and uh, putting debuffs on the enemies. So yeah, I will recommend you the effect precision one. The third one, the rare gems. I don't have a lot, but I recommend you either plain attack or if you have the ones that give speed, the speed. These are repeated from the first on second, so yeah. And here I will put the one that is specialized for mages. The power gem damage that increases the damage boost. You can see here is another one. Starts with 0.8%, can go up to 2% easily, even to 3.2% and so. So yeah, this will be the ones that I recommend for you in case that you're trying to upgrade her. Now, you could also put in the slot of the red one critical damage because she is a damage dealer. And remember, all damage dealers in this game can synergize with critical hits. So if you go crit for her instead of pure attack, instead of effect precision, you can put crit chance. Now, the relics. This is always like the longest part. As you can see, I have a termination set on her. Well, let's see what the game recommends. The game recommends Crimson Thunder on termination. Crimson deals damage to all the enemy targets based on a percentage of the damage that you did the first time you attack, and cannot crit. Okay, it is good if you want to like wipe out all the enemies in a single round, like all your characters do area of effect. Well, it works for farming levels and so. Thunder more attack and increases the damage when the enemy target is above 40% HP. Okay, that is to have a very strong start. Like the other arclight that I told you that gives you extra attack at the start of the game. Yeah, this is inclined on that kind of gameplay. Like if you want to rush the enemy and kill them as soon as possible, yeah, that Thunder is really good. I agree with the game on that. And Termination, the same one that I have. Yeah, I will say that Termination is the best on solution. Increases her critical chance. In case you're going full crit for her, that is really good. In my case, I'm not going full crit on her, so that is just like a little bit extra. Like if it pops a crit, it is good. If it doesn't matter. I'm not going for crit. And the special effect increases, well, sorry, nullifies 30% of the target defense. That is really good because the more defense that she can ignore, that means the more damage that she can deal on the enemies. Now, uh, the attributes or the sub attributes on the relics. I must say, I just have these things as placeholders, as examples basically, but I have other two examples on other characters that I will be using, and the next two will be like the ones that I recommend you if you're going seriously upgrading this character. But uh if you're not gonna, let's say, throw all of your resources to upgrade this character, you can use something like I'm gonna be showing you here first. Now, I have a Thunderband mostly because it gives attack and speed, the two things that solution plays the most. Basically, just because of that, I don't care about the reduction to damage over time, and the HP is nice, but it's not necessary. The Termination Armor, I have it just because of the attack and the speed on A. Just because of that. The rest are necessary there. The Termination Blunderbuss, I have it here just for the speed because I don't have really good Termination Blunderbuss. So I don't have good blunderbusses. So yeah. Here I will recommend you if you can get speed with attack and damage boost, that will be the best. And determination base. This is kind of like what you should get mostly. Good HP, really nice. Good attack and damage boost, that is exactly where the character plays on. And instead of defense, if you can get speed instead, that will be really, really good. Now, I told you that I had examples. Let me go to those examples. First one, I have it on Idol Shelter. I know this is a different set. It's a Sparkle Sunset set. Imagine is just an termination. What is good about this set to show you as an example for solution is the stats, if I remember correctly. Yeah, like for example here, a little bit of crit, HP, damage boost, mostly because of the damage boost here, an Esther. Here, more attack, a little bit of magical defense so she doesn't get deleted, okay? Here, as you can see, more attack, more speed, really, really good. And this one is really nice, for example. As you can see, uh, A on effect precision is not bad at all. We already saw that solution puts multiple debuffs, so the more effect precision she has, the better. A on defense, okay, is not really necessary, but in this case, how the relic is shown is nice. S on HP, okay, we already saw that she has very poor defensive skills, so if you can get one S on HP is really nice. She doesn't get killed that easily by an Entoma ultimate or something like that. And this this is really good. S on attack. That is probably the best sub attribute you can get on solution. Now I have other one here, Mileville. Is specialized basically on what it is attack and effect precision the most. Uh, yeah, now it all. Here as you can see a little bit of effect precision, S on attack, that is really good. Again, a little bit of attack, S on speed, S on effect precision, that is really nice for her, for solution, I mean in this case. This is another good example. A little bit of HP, that is always welcome. Nice amount of speed, nice amount of damage boost, and a really good effect precision state. That is very, very nice. That is almost ideal for solution. And here we can see again more attack, more effect precision, and a very nice amount of speed. That is ideal for solution. And if you still are not combined with these stats, let me go here. You can use something like this. Attack and effect precision is what I prioritized here. Damage boost and effect precision. Here, damage boost and effect precision. And here, speed, attack, and effect precision. Like that is what you will need. In case it is not clear, your first or second, like depending on what you want most, but what I will recommend you is that your first priority on the relics should be attack. Increase the attack as much as you can. And then as the second, like your second priority should be speed. You're playing into the strong side of the character. As your third stat, if you can upgrade it, upgrade the effect precision of the character and then the damage boost. So you're going all offensive stats basically. You're going attack, then speed, then effect precision for the debuffs, and then you're going damage boost just to do overkill on the enemy. So try to prioritize that. In case you want to go critical damage instead of attack, I will tell you prioritize 10 first place speed so she can be fast and you don't lose that strong side of her. Then you go critical chance as much as you can to try and guarantee the critical hits. Then you go effect precision because she still needs to put the debuffs, and then you go critical damage in those cases. But I will still recommend the first option: attack, speed, effect precision, and then damage boost. Now, the relic enchantments. Here I just have whatever I got. But one I will tell you is the one hit kill. That will be like your main priority to get because her first skill and her ultimate both are area of effect skills. Both are benefited by the one hit kill enchant. Here it is. Let me open it so you can see it. One hit kill increases the area of effect skill damage by 5% at level 1, 10% level 2, 16% level 3, 23% level 4, and increases it 30% at level 5. And if the HP of solution in this case is 100%, if she's full HP, it further increases it by another 10%. That last part is hard to get, yes, but if you can get that bonus, it is really, really nice. Try to get as much one hit kills as you can. That is the main priority. Then, as your second priority, I will say that is a draw between Uniring Shot and Blade Drown. Blade Drown is this one, increases your attack by a flat amount, and when you get it to level 6 and level more, aside of increasing it by a flat amount, also increases it by a certain percentage, from 8 to 8%, from level 6 to 9, and level 10 20%. As we already saw, solution attack is very very high. She's based around dealing high amounts of damage. So if you can increase it by that 20%, that will be really, really good. I told you, if you can get it to level 10, you're increasing her combat power by thousands of points easily, by at least 1,000 points. The other one that you should prioritize alongside Blade Rod is Unirin Shot. This one increases her effect precision by certain percentage from level 1 to 6. From level 6 to level 10, aside of increasing your effect precision by certain percentage, also increases your speed, and that is really really good because, as we already saw, solution is about damage and playing fast. So this is increasing your effect precision. That way, she's gonna put the debuff on the enemies more often, more like in a guaranteed way. You will have more confidence that she's gonna be able to successfully put the debuffs, and she's gaining speed so she can play faster. I'm gonna give you just a bit of an example here. Look at my Nigrel. My Nigrel has nice speed, 218. It is not the best, I know, but she has a nice amount of speed and 70% effect precision. You could wonder, wow, she has a distillation set, right? No, she has a star set. Nothing of that set increases the effect precision. But somehow I got on my enchantments and a level 10 Unerin shot. So increases her effect precision 40% and her speed by 10 points. I initially just put effect precision on her so she will be able to put her passive constantly on the enemies. And I managed to do that, yeah. But imagine that kind of stats on solution. 40% effect precision and 10 extra speed. That is really, really good on solution. That is basically some of the ideal enchantments for her. So, uh, back to the topic. Try to get as much one hit kill as you can. Then you decide between prioritizing Blade Draw for pure attack on or Unirin Shot for more effect precision speed. If you still want to put more enchantments on her, you could use always Endless Cycle to increase to increase the health of the character, or you could also, let me find it. You could also search for Stranded enchantment, but that is kind of hard to get. Yes, this one, Stranded. Targets inflicted with control skills receive 20% more skill damage. Control counts like towns from, let's say, for example, Tankalbedo. It also counts as being stunned and stun effects by, for example, Yuri Ultimate, or frozen or silenced. Frozen, for example, from the Saryusu Ultimate, or silenced for the Nigredo Ultimate, for example. So if an enemy is basically stunned or immobilized, Stranded takes place and increases the damage. Those will be the ones that I recommend you to operate on her. And now we go to the last part of this, the compositions and the characters to play around her. First off, there is, like lately, the meta team. That includes that solution with Tank Sisita, this one, with Tank Sisita, accompanied by, either you could decide between Seshi or Victim as your damage dealers. Seshi will be more physical damage, critical base damage. Victim can be either a ton of pure attack or critical damage dealer as well. The difference is that he is magical damage, while Seshi is physical, and Victim is area of effect mage. so he hits everyone. You could decide either of two of those two, and you can add this Hemuske. That way, what is that composition doing is that Hamuske is giving everyone physical defense, is protecting everyone from physical damage a little bit, and lowers the enemy's defenses as well as can stun the enemy. So things like stranded effect can take place. While Sisita or Shizu lowers the enemy magical defense, lowers the enemy uh, total maximal damage by 20% with her ultimate, and can taunt the enemy, so the enemies focus her instead of her allies. In that case, in the case that you choose victim, he's gonna give extra attack to everyone. He's gonna do magical damage, area of effect damage to all the enemy team, and has the chance to stun the enemies. Also has a chance to uh, inhabilitate the enemy relic effects for 2 rounds, and he can also lower the enemy magical defense even more, so Solution can perform even better with her attacks. In Seshi case, she is able to almost always get you the first turn, so you can play all the time first. You can stun a single target, you can guarantee some chases on the enemies that are slow, and you can basically execute some enemies with the Seshi chases that she performs. But if you don't want double tank or double damage dealer, you can use this Albedo. She offers healings, she offers shields, she steals enemies' buffs. She can also increase the critical damage of whoever you choose. She gives critical damage resistance to her team. And not only that, but she can, with ultimate, offer indomitable to someone so you can avoid someone to get killed. And not only that, but she has on the passive two invulnerabilities with healing. When someone is about to die, she heals it based on her attack, and she has S on attack, so she has a lot. And the target in question, the ally of Albedo, gets invulnerable state for 2 entire rounds. So she offers more ways to protect your squishy or your fragile characters. That is the first team. It's a meta team, and you can choose between having double tank or double damage dealer, or one tank, double damage dealer, and one healer, or double tank, one damage dealer, and one healer. So you can choose. Other team that is very like easy to get, very easy to do is with this Albedo, the normal one. This version, she is able to perform very well because she does a lot of damage. She does area of effect magical damage. She burns the enemy. She reduces the enemy healing as well. So she performs very similar to this solution in particular. Aside of that solution, you can add normal Yuri on your team. Remember, this another team, this other option is like sorry, it's like a easy to do team, or maybe even a low level team as well. This Yuri could be your tank, mostly because of her ultimate and her passive. Her ultimate, you stun someone basically, so you nullify someone turn once. That is good. Is that way you could nullify a priority target like a healer or a damage dealer, and your characters will kill it. And the passive, because she has 50% chance of having one of the player's member with the highest attack launching an assist available once every round. So that means every time she plays, basically. Prioritizes Sebas in the assist if he is present. In this case, you don't play with Sebas, you play Solution. And since Solution is gonna be the only other player with Yuri, Yuri will trigger Solution to make assist. And the invited character to the assist, in this case will be Solution, deals extra damage equal to 10% of Yuri's defense. So you can play this Yuri to make your Solution deal a little bit of extra damage by playing a little bit more with some assistance. So you could have that. You could have a normal Albedo or Mage Albedo, this Yuri with that solution, and then any other character that you have and you think is needed. If you want to stall, if you want to buy time for your solution to recharge her cooldown, you can use a PDL. So the world barrier gains some time for you. If you want more magical damage, you could use Mare, the normal one, or you could use, for example, Entoma, this version. So she damage everyone with with a second skill, and she also puts shock on the enemies and all of that. Another character that you could play in any composition with this solution is Pestonia. This one. Why? Well, she's a healer, so she also, aside of being a healer, she's kind of like support. When she heals someone, she gives them a buff that when they attack, they can silence the enemy they attack. So if you heal Solution with Pestonia, Pestonia is gonna make the next attack of Solution a control attack that is gonna silence the enemy that she hits. So it's giving extra perks or extra buffs to Solution, and also she's a healer, so every time she gets hurt by area of effect damage, like a victim for example, Pestonia can heal her back. Not only that, but her ultimate is the best. Her ultimate gives a certain amount of healing to the target, as as expected from a healer, of course. She also purifies 3 debuffs from the primary target, so she's gonna be able to take away 3 debuffs from Solution in case the enemy puts debuffs on her. And she also gives 100% turn meter boost upon healing to the target, so you can make Solution have a next turn right after Pestonia. So you could have Solution as your first character to play, then your tank, your other character that you choose, then Pestonia because she usually is very slow. You could use Pestonia ultimate on Solution, so Solution plays right after Pestonia. So you give Solution an extra turn, and she plays faster and all of that. So you're playing into Solution's strong side. Not only that, but also Pestonia with the Arclight, with this Arclight, the Wolf Arclight. She not only heals more if the target is low on HP, but she reduces 1 round at a random skill of the ally that she's healing. And you have a certain chance that she reduces the cooldown by 1 extra round. That means, for example, if you have Solution to the max rank on her skills, if you have her to the max, her ultimate is gonna have 2 rounds, I think. Let me check. No, it's gonna have 3 rounds. It is already the lowest. Let's say you have Solution, you play her first, you throw the ultimate to put the debuffs on the enemies and all of that. You put the ultimate, then you have to wait 3 rounds. Well, you use Pestonia ultimate on Solution as soon as you can. Pestonia is gonna reduce 1 round of this cooldown and is gonna make her play right after her. That means that when Solution gets the turn, another round is gonna get reduced. So you only have to wait 1 round to use the ultimate. So you could use her ultimate, then Pestonia ultimate on Solution. She gains another turn. You use the sticky bomb as your second turn with Solution. And by the time you have the turn with Solution, that will be the second turn for any other character on the game. You already have the ultimate again, so you can spam it. Or even better, if you get lucky with Pestonia Arclight, Pestonia at the moment of ulting Solution is gonna reduce 2 rounds the cooldown of the ultimate, and because it makes her play right after her with the 100% turn meter boost, that means that when Solution plays, another round gets discounted. That means that you can use the ultimate of Solution, then you can use Pestonia ultimate on Solution, and if you get lucky with the Arclight, you instantly have another use of the ultimate right after one right after the other. That is why Pestonia can be played with basically everyone and still make a good combination. Solution and Pestonia included. So you could use this combo. Also, there is more combos. My favorite for this kind of characters is like the turn meter manipulation team. Sounds weird? Yes. It is annoying to the enemy? Yes, as well. And is good? Depends on what you think. Includes this solution. She manipulates the turn meter because her captain skill can throw back the enemy's turn meter and boost herself. Also, when she's 4 stars and so and 4 and 6 stars, as well as when she upgrades her ultimate, she's gonna gain turn meter boost every time she puts adhesion on the enemy. So every time you ult, she can boost herself from 5% to 20% to 30% turn meter boost. So she accelerates her own turn meter. The other core member of that team is Idol Shelter, this one, with the ultimate. This, because of this part. When you hit the enemies with your ultimate, grants a 100% basic chance to reduce the target turn meter by 10% plus 2% multiplied by the number of stacks of fan admiration after dealing damage. So you guarantee that you at the very least are throwing back the enemy's turn meter by 10%. It is 10% there plus the acceleration that solution gets with her ultimate plus an extra acceleration from her captain skill, and then you can throw back the enemy 2 meter another 25%. That is a minimum of 35% 2 meter boost that you're throwing back on the enemy. If you want more, your third character could be Mare. If you have Mare Arclight and use the second skill, the Boulder Ball, you can throw back the enemy 2 meter like 7% more. This will be a single target, yes, but you can still do it more. And you put speed down on the enemy, so you're making the enemy turn uh, get slower. If you don't want Mare, you want like a more actual meta damage dealer, you could use Seshi instead as your third character because she is very fast. She steals the speed of the enemy when she attacks with the basic attacks, and with her ultimate, not only she gains high tier speed up, that is at 30% extra speed, but she also throws back the enemy turn meter by like 30%. Yeah, steals 30% of the target turn meter. So you're making the enemy turn get or become slower. The enemy will have to wait more to get the turn meter. In you have to wait even less because you're stealing it. And also she stuns. So when the enemy gets their turn, when the enemy finally gets it, it cannot use it because the enemy is stunned. Cannot do anything. It cannot throw a basic attack. It cannot throw an ultimate, a shield, a healing, anything. If you don't have Seshi, or you just don't like it, or whatever, you could use Nigredo instead. You could use her because of her gaze, her dread perception skill. Basically, what happens is that she puts gaze on someone at the start of the game. If you have her like 5 stars, she puts it in 3 enemies. If she is 4 stars or less, she puts it in one single enemy. Basically, what gaze does is what when an enemy with that debuff moves, Nigredo turn meter gets increased by 25%. So every time the enemies that are marked by Nigredo move or attack or do whatever, like anytime they do anything, Nigredo moves alongside. Nigredo boosts by 25%. And she's a fast character, so it doesn't take many enemy actions for Nigredo to gain extra turns or to get it before the enemy can predict it. Also, her basic attack puts the same gaze debuff, so you can constantly be debuffing the enemy. So when they move, your Nigredo moves. That way, you're guaranteeing that Nigredo is always gonna have a turn to play. And you have a silence with the skill with the ultimate. You have a silence that means that you can make one enemy not being able to ult or to heal or to throw any kind of meaningful or powerful skill on that specific turn. So you could use Nigredo, you could use Idle Shelter, you could use Mare, or you could use even Victim in this case. When he dies with his Arclight, he revives with 1 HP after exploding like a nuke, and he's gonna gain 2 meter boost. The amount depends on the amount of stars you got that you have on the Arclight. So you could use Victim as well. So when the enemies think that they kill him and he's not gonna be a threat anymore, he's gonna get an accelerated 2 meter so you can use him to explode again. Pestonia also fits there because she increases the 2 meter of your team. But if If you still don't want that, well, I already told you, you still have Seshi to steal the enemy turn meter, and so Shelter is gonna throw the enemy's turn meter back. Mari as well. Solution is gonna throw the enemies back if she's the captain. If she's not the captain, she's only gonna boost her own turn meter. But you get why I call it that team the turn meter manipulation team? Because you're constantly increasing your turn meter and decreasing the enemy turn meter. Not only that, but that combines with a supreme being, with the most popular one as well. This with Ainsol Gone, and specifically this skill of him, the negative burst. This is the skill I was talking about earlier with the damage aggravation, and so basically he does a nice amount of magical damage to the enemies, and uh, he can put burn on the enemy when the merge is on the battle, and so and he can put damage aggravation just like Albedo, just like Solution, so the enemies take 30% more damage, and so. But the important part that plays with the turn mirror manipulation team as well is the last part. Hitting grants a 100% basic chance to reduce all targets' turn meters by 7.5% for each debuff on the target, and reduces the turn meter by an extra 1.5% up to an extra 7.5%. So you're guaranteed to throw them back 7.5%. And if they have multiple debuffs, you can throw them back for extra percentage. And he also has a passive skill that increases Mage's damage. Solution, Idol Shelter, Mare, Victim, all of those that I told you are mages. The only ones that are part of that team that aren't mages is Nigredo and Seshi. Either way, you could use any of those that I told you. And if you're wondering, well, all of those are damage dealers. You you cannot make a team full of damage dealers and expect it to work, right? Because that's not how these kind of games work. You need a composition, you need a tank, you need a healer, a support, and so. Well, your tank, your best option will be uh, this one, Tank Sisita. Mostly because of her ultimate. Her ultimate basically, as we can see here, makes the enemies deal 10% less damage and take 20% more magical damage, is boosting all your mages that I already told you, including Solution, and it also makes the enemies deal more less damage to Shizu. And Shizu gets in the way to block the enemy single target attacks, so she tanks for your team sometimes. Not only that, but if you're willing to sacrifice not having Solution Captain skill to make her play second always in case the enemy outspeeds you, if you can sacrifice that or you can allow yourself to not use that, you could use Shizu Captain skill on Tistem. Because she makes all the enemy's magical defense decrease by 15% and increases the allies' magical defense by 15%. So you could be more resilient against magical damage teams like mage teams, and not only that, but you're making them more vulnerable to your own team. So Shizu boost your solution. So yeah, there's those are the compositions, the teams. You can play a meta team, with the two popular tanks, Seshi, Victim, and Anniversary Albedo. You can go for an easy to make team that almost everyone has, like using normal Albedo, using the normal or the original or the SR, however you know her, the Yuri, using of course the solution that we're talking about that you can get on the chest right now, and then you can use another mage easy to get if you want more damage like Mare. If you want a support, you could use any healer you have like Pestonia for the combo that I already told you, or if you want Pandora's Actor, it works as well because he buffed the allies with highest attack. In this case, it will be Solution or Albedo, maybe depending on your stats. You could also make the turn meter manipulation team. You have Nigredo for that, you have Seshi, you have Victim. Victim also stuns the enemy, so when they get a turn, they do nothing. You have Idol Shelter as another core member of that team. You have Mare, you have Solution. Have You have variety there. If you want like a full team centered about increasing solution damage, will be the tank Cicita that I told you because reduces the enemy magical defense. That way, solution deals more damage. That is one. The second one could be victim because victim passive skill increases everyone attack based on the HP he's missing. So even if victim is a damage dealer, he is still increasing solution attack even more. You could use their things like anniversary albedo or coquillos so they keep alive solution. You're supporting her, she doesn't get killed that easily. You could use the Hamuske so she increases the damage that solution can perform. You could use Pestonia to increase her turn meter, get her another turn, and so. So yeah, as we see, solution is not really that flexible. Like you cannot play her with things like Aura or Yuri or Shalter, Vampire Bride, the Laser Mans. You could use her with these Pleiades as well, yes, but they combine more because of Yuri makes them make assistance more than because they have synergy with each other. You could use a shock team, so Narveral lowers the enemy's magical defense, so you can lower them by actually 30%. That is a really nice amount, 30%. But for that, you will need at least this Narveral at a very good level, and also to be the captain, and as well as the other solution. And because you cannot combine uh, captains, you cannot have like two captain skills at the same time or so. You will have to decide or Narberal or Sisita. In my case, if I'm going all out, all offensive, Narberal. If I still expect the enemy to perform well, like I think it's gonna be an even fight or anything but a stomp, then Sisita. So you do not risk. That way you don't risk either your tank falling or your damage dealers or your supports or your healers or whatever. So yeah, that will be what I recommend you. Like, or all that is all. On the runes, you get whatever you have. Like you see, I have some very weird levels here. There, there it is. I have attack, I have HP, more attack here, HP, more attack, more HP, and a little bit of defense. So the runes get whatever you have, literally, whatever you have at the highest levels of sub attributes, and that is nice. Then you're good to go. So yeah, now remember the most important parts of this character: the themes that I told you, termination set, so she deals as much damage as possible. Get her to 4 stars is very easy, and the sub attributes of the relics increase her attack, her speed, her effect precision, and her damage boost. Next video, I think, and if it's not the next one, it's gonna be shortly after the next one. It's gonna be themes for the SSR solution. I'm gonna be playing her like usual here on the arena, on the combat arena. I'm gonna be playing against any teams that I find. I'm gonna try to avoid like this one on the top or this one because it's kind of boring. Everyone already plays against that. We all know how to play them, and it doesn't make for very entertaining gameplay because it's just like wait until Seshi or Solution play, kill them for a first time, kill them again because they have either Anniversary Albedo or they have Dissolution. So you have to kill the same character twice or even 3 times. And once they're dead, their tanks are useless. Those tanks are useless alone. So you don't have to worry. You have to just keep healing or shielding yourself until the game increases everyone's attack and reduces their defense, and you instantly destroy those tanks. And it's not really fun to see. And sometimes it's even boring to play against this Hamuske or Seshi or Sisita on the same teams. It's more interesting to go like here, for example, and see. Oh, Albedo is gonna increase everyone attack because Narveral is gonna put shock on the enemies. That is a debuff, and the Albedo captain skill increases the attack of everyone when they have debuffs. oh, Cocytus is gonna put bleed on my team from the very start of the game, and he deals extra damage to targets with bleed. So at the start, he's gonna be able to do more damage than usual, and that increases Albedo Captain skill extra damage. That is good, that is synergy. But it is because it's not a unified team, it's not a shock, not a burn, not a bleed team. All of them are gonna have high attack at the start and then nothing. Because once I purify the shock or the bleed, neither Narveral or Cocytus are gonna do more many damage to me. They're not gonna be dealing as much damage at the start. And Arbedo can constantly be putting burn on me, so she can deal extra damage with burn and her captain skill. Yes, but it's only one character. Cocytus is the tank. Okay, nice. If it's 5 of 6 stars, it is really good tank. So I will have to maybe nullify him by stunning him or silence him at the start of the game. But if it's 4 stars or less, it's kind of weak for a tank. So I could maybe even ignore him and go for Albedo, that is probably the strongest character on that team. And after I go for Albedo, I can take my time to take down the tank, and then Cocytus and Narborough are squishy, they will fall quickly. Like you see why these kind of teams are more interesting? Probably they're gonna get destroyed in the first turn or so by my team, but it's more interesting to see these kind of teams working than these ones. Like this one. Oh, Amuske is just there to lower your defense and stun you. What you have to do is survive the first onslaught of Seshi ultimate and solution. Then when you play, you decide who deal more damage to your team, solution or Seshi. Then you focus your damage on that one. You kill, let's say, Seshi, okay, you kill her. Solution is gonna keep her alive. What you have to do then is to stun Solution or silence her. That way, Solution is not able to do damage, so she doesn't kill your team. So you don't die, and you heal right after the damage that you receive it, or shield, whatever you have. Then go for Seshi for a second time. You kill her, or when you're close to kill her, Albedo is gonna put the invincibility. Then what you do? You go for solution. So you waste this second invulnerability of Albedo, and then you constantly keep shielding yourself because she's gonna still attack you. Then once you have wasted the invulnerabilities of Albedo on the other two damage dealers, you go for the weakest one. Let's say you go for Seshi. You kill her. Okay. Once you kill her, because Albedo already used her invulnerabilities, Solution is vulnerable. You go for her. Let's say her cooldown receded and she has her revive again. Okay, she's stunned because the Bouncing state doesn't let her act. You only have to wait until you have your next rotation set of skills. When the 2 rounds pass and she revives, you kill her again, and that's it. You literally have to stall. You buy time until you kill the two of them at least once, so Albedo cannot revive them. After that, you just I mean, you stall them. You shield yourself. You heal yourself. You try to kill them once. You try to kill them twice. You shield yourself again. You just ult whatever is the weakest member on the enemy. Finally, you kill it. You kill the other damage dealer. Then you kill the healer, and the tank is useless. Like, it's boring just to shield yourself all the time, waiting for them to run out of the cooldowns. It's more interesting the teams on the lower part. And if you're trying to say, oh, that's a skill issue, you don't have the characters. I have the characters. You see the combat power. I can keep them on their towns. I can keep them constantly dying or constantly being chased or assisted by, because I have Momon, I have the Halloween Momon, I have Seshio, I have a meta team ready there. I have a bleed character with Lupus Regina and Entoma. I have good supports. I have the tank shelter to keep everyone with healing. I have tank Cocytus to keep one alive from dying. I have anniversary Albedo, so she keeps invulnerable my team. I have made Albedo so I can constantly have assist and bypass things like shield wall, and so I can defeat those teams. It is just really boring. So yeah, I'm gonna be showing you more interesting teams. And lastly, if you were able to hear a cat on the background, it is one cat that is in my house. It's really noisy. I dislike it a lot, but my family likes it, so I have to deal with it, and it's very annoying. So sorry if you hear the cat. And yeah, that is all for now. If the next video isn't the combats of solution using the compositions I'll tell you, it's gonna be shortly after, okay? Because I have a lot of things to record. I still have to record the playtime with with Shizu and with Solution and so I need to record those mini games level by level, are like 6 levels. I still have secondary side quests. I still have another guides to make. Like before the Astral Prey event ends, I still have to record this Momon guide. So yeah, I still have a lot of things to record. So it's gonna be shortly, okay? Well, yeah, that's all. Thanks for hearing my awful voice and being here, whatever time you have been here, like 1 hour or so. So yeah, goodbye.